will be open for those customers that would like to come and pick up any P.O. Box mail. Mr. Gordon will be there and will be able to give that to you and assist you with any change of address forms that you may need. After the 31st, effective September 1st, any mail that's still being delivered to a P.O. Box with the address of Glen will be available for pickup at the Pullman, Michigan Post Office General Delivery. The mail will be at that location for 10 days. If customers do not pick up their mail, it will be returned to sender. The second part of our meeting tonight is we are proposing to discontinue the Glen, Michigan office because we will no longer have a facility here in town. The Postal Service mail volume has been steadily declining over the last 5 years. With the increase in technology, people are diverting communications via cell phones and computers. Postal Service lost $8.5 billion in fiscal year 2010, and we are projecting a loss of $6.4 billion for fiscal year 2011. I'm not sure what that was. Okay. The financial picture for the Postal Service has worsened due to the pre-funding of the retiree health benefit system and overpayment to the Civil Service Retirement Fund. Similar post office reviews for discontinuance are taking place all over the United States, all over Michigan. This is not an isolated issue. The uniqueness about Glen, Michigan is our discontinuance study is starting because of the loss of the lease, the loss of the facility.
I just bought a whole bunch of stuff. I wrote to Gregory a comment that I have writing a book, and I got all the addresses had to do with here, all kinds, 1,000 different cards with Glen listed on it, the post office. If I'd had 60 days notice, I'd have saved a lot of money. I don't understand why, when a business closes, they have to give the federal government 60 days notice. Why, when the post office is going to close their station here, why wouldn't they have to give us more than July 27th, which is approximately 30 days notice?
There's two different issues tonight that we're meeting on. The first is the emergency suspension of the office due to the loss of lease, which is effective August 31st. Because we wanted to meet with the community to explain what was happening with the loss of lease and the change of addresses and where your mail would be able to be obtained. We decided to do the community meeting for the discontinuance procedure at the same time. Okay, the meeting tonight is twofold, all right? The discontinuance of the office, the process takes between 4 and 7 months. So no final determination has been made to discontinue the Glen, Michigan Post Office. The physical location will be closed effective August 24th to the loss of lease. The discontinuance of the name of the Glen, Michigan Post Office, that final determination has not been made. We are proposing to discontinue the Glen, Michigan office. One thing to bring up, and I'll let everybody know, because it may come up a couple times and may answer a few questions. One of the alternate service methods that we're currently pursuing for the Glen, Michigan Post Office is what's called a village post office. We have sent information to local businesses to see if they may be interested in a village post office. Right now we're going through that process with our contacts to see if there may be a business that we may be able to contact with. A village post office is a location in the community where P.O. boxes are either installed inside the facility or exterior, which allows customers to rent a P.O. box with the Glen, Michigan office with the same zip code. At the village post office location, booklets of forever stamps are available for purchase. Flat rate priority boxes are available. So if you wish to mail flat rate priority, you can purchase the appropriate amount of forever stamps and apply them to the priority box and leave it at the location. The post office will pick it up from there on a scheduled pickup for processing. That is one of the forms of alternate service that we're currently pursuing for the Glen, Michigan office. We just don't have that finalized, so I'm not able to announce a potential location or if that process will end up resulting in the village post office, but we are looking into it. The gentleman in the orange.
Yes, Dave Kimball, P.O. Box 240. I guess I have two questions. one, can you give us a little bit more detail on this village post office option? Will we still be able to do certification, register mail, that type of information, or do you have to go to some other location? What also happens, when quite frequently packages cannot go into the P.O. boxes, you have to go to another location where someone here is going to be deputized to provide that service to us. Secondly, the lease option has been known to the post office for an extended period of time. And it looks to me like you're changing our service here and waiting until the very last minute to use the lease as an explanation, where this has been something that's been on the table for months and months. So why, from a business perspective, are we waiting till, July 27th to hear the lease? That's a poor excuse.
The first your question about the certified or registry, or if you wish to mail it express, that will not be available at a village post office. For those type of services, you would have to visit a nearby post office location. Holman, Michigan post office is located approximately 7.4 miles from the Glen post office. Bentonville is approximately 8.3 miles from the Glen, Michigan post office. And just so you know, the mileage was pulled from Google, from post office to post office, so I apologize. If it's a couple tenths off, we utilize Google, post office to post office to obtain the mileage. Your second question was if there's a package too large to fit into a P.O. box. If the village post office concept comes forth, with that there are parcel lockers at the location, so in the post office box, the package doesn't fit, similar to, I don't know if you've seen like CBUs, they're like apartment complexes, where the carrier will leave a key and a note in your box letting you know that you have a package, leaves you the key fits the large parcel locker in the bottom, so that when you come to obtain your mail, you see the key, you're able to unlock the parcel locker on the bottom and obtain your large package.
So will everyone have the same key to get into this one
No.
box, or each one have a separate?
No. Every customer has access to only their P.O. box. The parcel lockers is a key that is locked inside the parcel locker. The carrier has access to all the boxes to deliver the mail. When there is a package to leave in the parcel locker, the carrier removes the additional key that's secured and places it in the customer's box. When the customer obtains the mail, they leave the key back in the box, is what the instructions will say, and then it goes back up so the key is secured. So there is only the one key for that box. Not every customer will have access to that. So no one else, in other words, will have access to a customer's mail or package.
So I guess I'm confused. If there's 180 boxes, there are 180 of these postal down below with individual keys.
No, but there are more than one parcel locker, and usually there's more than enough parcel lockers in each unit to accommodate the post office boxes. In a scenario where we may have a high volume of packages where the carrier lets us know that there's not enough, then we would look at modifying so that we did have enough. Your second question, or I guess it was more of a comment, we waited until the meeting tonight in hopes that we would not be losing our lease. There's no sense in notifying the public of a lost lease of the office closing if that does not become fruitful. We are at the point now where we need to let you know that the office will be closing. Our lease will not be extended. We have to be out August 31st. That's why effective the 24th at close of business. The office will close for retail transactions, and we will begin taking everything out of that location.
I guess my only comment would be it seems as though we've known that the lease was not going to be renewed for a considerable period of time. I mean, I have been aware of this for probably three or more months, that the existing lessor was not willing to continue. And this seems like a substantial change in service without giving any consideration to the clients.
You know, we negotiate tens of thousands of leases nationwide, and as someone who's been involved in that for the last 15 or 20 years, I can tell you that a lot of times we come down to the last minute and we do come up with a scenario where we can make something work. In this particular case, we were not able to do that, and that's why we're in the position that we're in right now. Now, 2 of the last 3 meetings that we've had, we've walked out of there with a business person being very, very interested in becoming a community post office, or village post office. So, you know, if there is someone in town here who wants to set something like that up and speaks with us, and we can set up a contract, you know.
We're ready, we are ready. Yes, turn the red.
What are the service hours at the Pullman post office?
Oh, yes. The Pullman post office, Monday through Friday, is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Saturday, retail is open from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The lobby hours, the lobby is open for 24 hours for access to P.O. boxes. So if you're a customer that's looking to rent a P.O. box at the Pullman location, you would have 24-hour access to your post office box. Ma'am, on the right?
Yeah. We read in newspapers that there were a number of post offices being considered for closing by the U.S. Postal Service. Glenn was not listed in that list. Why is it that now, I know it's loss of lease, but why can't we have this alternate site and not have it questioned whether the site's available or not? We have 2 viable sites that have been proposed to the officials. I don't know if any of you got it or not, but there have been 2 sites proposed. And why is it they didn't even consider closing it if those who are, I don't know, higher up on the post have decided already that Glen was a viable business? It was not listed as part of a group to be closed.
Well, just recently, thank you for that question. Just recently, the Postmaster General, in fact, it was last Thursday, announced that by the year 2015, if the Postal Service continues in its current path, that up to 50% of the post offices nationwide could be closed down. Over 40% of our retail postage presently is sold at places other than our brick and mortar post offices. Over the internet, at places like Meijer, Walmart, Contract Station, those types of things. The list that came out recently with the 4,400 post offices nationwide is just the beginning. We have had community meetings in at least a dozen other places in West Michigan who aren't on that list right now. We are following the same process with them as those on that list, but that is just the beginning of the process. When you're in a situation where we're losing billions of dollars every year, and we have cut our budget back significantly, our infrastructure is way too large to support the mail that we have now. Our mail volume has dropped, our first-class mail volume has dropped more than 25% over the last 2.5 years. And that pays for quite a bit of our infrastructure and other things. So this is just the beginning of the things that the Postal Service is doing to try to get ourselves into a position to survive. Since 1971, the Postal Service has not received any tax dollars from the U.S. government except for the nonprofit mail. They give us the difference between what we charge for a nonprofit organization like a church or a township or something like that and what a regular rate would be. Other than that, the Postal Service receives no government funding, nor have we asked for that, nor do we want that. So this is just the beginning. It isn't the end of the process and the things that we're going through as an organization.
Let me grab someone new that hasn't asked the question.
May I just make a statement? I think you have been very negligent and very inconsiderate of this community. You're closing something and you're putting a financial burden on many of these people here. What I think you should do is rent that place out until whatever decisions are made, so no one has to change everything. That you should have done in the beginning. You should have understood what you're putting this community through. You should try to rent it out month, 2 months until the transition is done and nobody has to suffer the financial loss that a lot of these people are going to suffer. Thank you.
questions have been asked over the last 6 months. Correspondence has been sent to you, and it all just disappears. You say that, you know, you're looking into this, you're looking into that, but we have no answers. This meeting should have took place 3 months ago, and not now, so that there was no interruption in service. I would like to see another meeting scheduled to go over what you have found out for us. I would also like to know, I am part of the present leaseholders, okay? And I would like to know when I'm going to receive a call, and from whom, with the Postal Service, asking me to extend the lease so that the people of my community do not have to go through all of this inconvenience because of you, the way you guys act so slow.
We will not have another community meeting from this point forth if we continue with the proposed discontinuance of the office. Hard copy information and a copy of the proposal to discontinue the Glen Michigan Post Office will be posted in the Pullman Post Office location. During the 60-day posting period, comment forms are available for customers to submit questions, concerns that they would like to make part of the public record. We look at every submission of a written comment. You will receive a response from us. We do review all the information. So after tonight, if you think of something unique to the community that wasn't brought up here that you would like to make us aware of, and you think about it later, please send it to us in writing so that we have it and we have that information. Yes, sir.
Yes, if,
You gotta move your
yeah.
I can't hear you behind there. It's kind of mumbled and jumbled.
if the United States Congress decides to have the post office in Glen, can they tell the U.S. Postal Service to keep it in Glen, the senators and congressmen?
The Postal Regulatory Commission is appointed by Congress. They are the final approval or disapproval of a post office closure.
So you could contact your House of Representative and maybe Debbie Stabenow and Mr. Levin?
That's always an option for any customer.
And Glen is very unique. I'm a transplant myself. The reason everybody here is so concerned is we don't get any rural delivery to Glen, Michigan, any place but the post office. So it would be really easy for the postal people, whoever those powers to be, to say, they're done, and we're done. That's what everybody's here for tonight. We're fighting to keep that building, and we hope you'll fight for it too.